First one we're going to be looking at then is from a YouTuber called Hjörleif, and he's actually playing as the Huns. And let me just pro streamer here. There we go. He's actually playing as the Huns, and as you can see, he's in a bit of a Smurf account. So he's called himself Blind Hjörleif, and that is purely because he's playing without without the UI. Obviously, seeing Viper's little recording or stream has sort of made him want to have a bit of a laugh and doing the game without the UI. So we'll see how we get on. So he's playing as the Huns. Having a little look at his map. It's not the greatest map by any means. I mean, it's good that his golds are all relatively close by, but certainly he's got a front gold. No particular backwood, although I suppose he could wall along this little area here potentially, and then he'll have a bit of a secure wood there. But yeah, it's not going to be the best. I'm certainly having that forward gold there. So over to the red player. He is playing as the Lithuanians. I think the map's probably a little bit better. I mean, yeah, I'd probably say the map's a bit better. So you should be able to wall up quite easily along, you know, sort of this area. That's easily enough to wall up, and then potentially either down here, probably go down here, and then that wood line there is nice and secure as well. So plenty of secure wood lines for the red player, which is nice. Doesn't happen very often on Arabia nowadays. But yeah, certainly the main focus is going to be on Hjörleif because of the lack of UI. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does with this actually. But it seems to be doing quite well. He's actually not had any idle time yet, which is good. And I think it certainly helps having the Huns as your civilization if you're not playing with a UI, because you know it's going to just end up with immense housing issues later on in the game if you know, once you're getting an army out, if you've not got enough houses. So it's probably a good choice for that. It's quite impressive to see actually. He's not got any idle TC time yet, and his eco idle time is pretty good as well, considering that the challenges that he's up against, obviously not having a minimap, and just everything else, obviously not knowing what resources he's got. He's actually doing quite well, and you know, he's spending those resources fairly well. A little bit of idle TC time now, but it's certainly can't be helped, I don't think, in this situation. The red player just coming in doing a little bit of scouting. Hjörleif managing to cause a little bit of damage on him, but nothing too major or too concerning, I don't think, for the red player there. Nice little arrangement of houses there. Not sure what elo we're looking at here, but I think Hjörleif's normally around 1100-ish, 11 to 1200. But with this being his blind, UI-less Smurf account, we're probably looking a bit lower than that, I would have thought. Can't imagine they've won too many games to maintain a strong, you know, a stronger elo. But it seems to be doing pretty well. I'm currently on 18 population, 17 villages, so probably just needs a couple more villages to be created, I would assume. But he is pushing some deer in as well, which is good. As you can see, some more villages are on the way in, getting that population up. They're pretty even on population counts at the moment. Quite a bit of eco and TC idle time starting to creep in now for Hjörleif, and it's pretty good to see that the red players still not got any idle TC time. But this is what happens when you don't play with a UI and you don't know how much food you got. So he's sitting there with 500 food at this point, but he doesn't really know about it. There we go, been able to click up now. The red player's also got enough food, but just not quite clicked up yet. But he does have a 2 villager lead. Probably looking at clicking up. There we go. I'm going to say probably looking at clicking up very, very soon. So as Lithuanians, you'd probably expect scouts, but I would, yeah, you'd expect scouts from this. Just looking at what he's doing, I was going to say perhaps he's going to go for men at arms with that barracks coming up now, but probably would have been a bit late for the barracks, and he's not got anything on gold. So, but what we going to see from Hjörleif? Probably the same. Probably the same. Does have the barracks up, so just got to wait for the stable to come in once he hits the fuel age. Not really much is happening at this point. But it's quite interesting to see how well Hjörleif is doing, actually, considering he's not got the UI. Obviously quite a bit of idle time, but that's just to be expected, really. But he is going to be on the back foot with having the weaker economy. Red just having those villagers ready for the stables to come in. He's going for a double stables, which is interesting. Don't really see a double stables very often. We should be able to obviously maintain scout production from them initially, but we'll see how much he's able to capitalise on that. Hjörleif also getting the first stable down, so Red's certainly going to have the scout numbers. Quite a lot on berries there. Could probably do with getting some farms down, but certainly getting those 2 stables producing the scouts will certainly give him a edge in terms of numbers, and getting the blacksmith down as well. So prioritising getting those buildings ready for when he can click up a bit later on in the game. And again, Hjörleif just starting to get some farms there now. He has actually caught up with the economy as well, actually, which is quite impressive. And he does have, well, he's got a scout. Again, blacksmith coming up now for Hjörleif as well, and he'll probably just carry on trying to get the rest of the wall made after he's made that. A couple of idle villages there, been stood there for a little while, but quite a good collection of scouts now. Another couple more coming out, so he's going to be attacking with 7 scouts, which is certainly going to be causing a bit of an issue, but luckily he does have a few spearmen there ready. But I don't think they're quite going to be enough. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. See how much damage you can cause with this. And certainly Hjörleif is definitely playing blind at this point. Obviously not having a mini-map, he doesn't quite know where the enemy is. Just at a glance, he's got to scroll all the way over the map to find where he's got to go. But yeah, just being aware of potential of scouts coming in, so just sticking the spearmen by the wood lines just to give them a bit of protection. But could certainly do with a few more spearmen, and you certainly wouldn't be expecting this many scouts to be coming in this early with double stables. And that spearman's going to die pretty quickly. How many of these villagers are going to die? Also, there's certainly going to be a few of them going down. Oh, especially as he's attacking with them. I mean, there's not much choice, but yeah, there's certainly 3 gone there. Possibly 4. No, it's 3, wasn't it? One of them was a spearman. So again, another spearman out just to protect this top wood line, but probably would have been, yeah, I was going to say, beneficial to start putting some buildings there, or, you know, walling up a little bit. But hopefully those 3 spearmen now will hopefully be able to clear all of those up. Yeah, should be able to quite easily. So just protecting those, but is he going to lose that villager? No, he's just able to save it. So good defense in the end for Hjörleif. Not really sure what happened with the scouts. It was as though they just ran into the TC. But that must be quite difficult without a UI, because I think ordinarily when obviously you're being attacked, or you're on the attack and you seeing what's happening on the minimap, you can quickly react and move them out of harm's way. But obviously without the minimap, you're not necessarily going to know, other than the alarm going off saying you're being attacked. But quite easily
create extra
quite easy to sort of confuse that with the fact that you're being attacked at home. So yeah, it's not surprising he lost those. Thank you very much for the follow. Sorry, I can't pronounce the name there, but welcome. Ein Topfsberg. Sorry if I've just absolutely butchered that. Oh dear. So yeah, quite a nice collection of spearmen there ready for Hjörleif. Should be able to protect his economy quite well now. He has got a big villager lead actually, so the idle TC time for the red is just going up and up and up and up and up. So he's obviously too busy focusing on his little scout rush, which is certainly quite easy to do. It is very easy to just focus on that, but he does now have twice as much idle TC time. And despite losing some villagers, Hjörleif has 4 villager lead without a UI. But just looking back at Red's base, he could probably do with walling up, finishing off his walls. There's not really much point in just making that one wall. But again, I suppose he's too busy trying to go on the attack there. But he has finally started up villager production again. The little timer has stopped there. Yeah, they're still quite far away from being able to have enough food for the castle age, and obviously not knowing how many resources he's got, he's probably unaware that he's floating so much wood. I'm just getting some upgrades in now for those spearmen, just to make them last a little bit longer. So it'd be interesting to see as well whether the red player has the game knowledge to collect the relics for Lithuanians. Probably does. It'd be quite interesting to see. Hjörleif is now chopped through the wood, so he's not really very well protected at this point. See if he notices he's relocating a lot of those villagers over to the thicker part of the wood line there. Probably makes sense for him to kind of keep them on this one wood line at the time being, just so that he doesn't have to switch his army around too much, and spread them out. Will you watch the fan preview event later today? I will indeed. Very, very hyped for it. I'm probably going to be doing a video on it for the YouTube channel as well over the next couple of days, which would be good. But yeah, I'm super hyped for it. Be interesting to see what happens with Age of Empires 4. See what it looks like and how much it compares to Age of Empires 2 and certainly Age of Empires 3. See which bits of each game they've taken and implemented into Age of Empires 4. It's going to be quite interesting. I'm hoping it's more like Age of Empires 2 than Age of Empires 4. But by the sounds of things, the civilizations are all going to be quite different, which is going to be quite interesting. Probably a little bit like StarCraft in that sort of manner, really. Each civ is truly going to be unique, I think. Just looking at the base for the red player, still not really expanded the walls much. It's got a lot more idle TC time. There's now actually a 10 villager lead for Hjörleif. But he is on his way up to the castle age. But certainly there's a very, very big lead, economy-wise, for Hjörleif. And he's going in there with his own little scout. Yeah, Hjörleif's just going on for a little bit of a raid now. Red not really doing much. He's been scared off by the spearmen. But Hjörleif are able to come in, pick a villager, and start going against the gold there. Take the villager off the gold, try and delay the knights, but there's plenty of them queued up. There's going to be 4 of them coming out for him soon. Hjörleif really, really needs to be able to click up to the castle age. Can do with getting the market down. Obviously he doesn't know what his resources are, so he's probably just frantically clicking the castle age button and nothing's happening. But yeah, definitely needs to try and get up to the castle age himself. Still not fully walled up, the red player, but he must be feeling quite confident at this point because Hjörleif's not in the castle age yet. We've got barracks coming down. Another barracks, so he's probably planning on trying to get a load of defensive spearmen himself, or pikemen I should say. He does have the armor upgrade coming in now as well. Quite a lot of idle villagers there, really need to get back to work, whether they go on wood or go on food, but certainly not got the economy to maintain production of 2 stable knights. He does have the attack upgrade coming in now as well. There is a hole there, so you're going to want to put a bit of wall there as well if that's where you're planning on walling. Don't know why I just didn't wall up along here, that would have been a hell of a lot easier. Yeah, just giving chase, and Hjörleif's having to try and escape a little bit, but he's going to be putting a big palisade wall all the way along there. Quite an ambitious one. Probably would have personally gone across there, and well, I suppose it really makes much difference to be fair going across there and then down here. But yeah, certainly quite ambitious. I think the only problem he'll have with that is just there's not going to be any villagers here to repair the walls once he gets there, so that's certainly going to be causing him a few problems, I think, a little bit further down the line. We'll see what happens. The knights are going to be coming in very, very soon. Hjörleif is halfway up to the castle age, so hopefully he'll be able to not die from this raid. And I can't remember what he said, if he won this one or not, so it's going to be quite an interesting one for me as well. But it's making a switch to cav archers once the castle age comes in, which aren't going to be the best against the knights. And there's a hole there. He has managed to just quickly wall it up, so that's good. So whether he's planning on just going mass cav archers to go and do some raiding, but then again, there's not that many knights there. Oh, but he is in. He's going to lose quite a few villagers. I'd like to see the pikeman upgrade coming in, that's for sure. Can we get the pike upgrade coming in? Still no pike upgrades. Is he got enough spearmen to deal with it? They do have armor and attack upgrades, so that's good. Yeah, he's been able to push them away there. That was a really good fight for him, actually. I was surprised at how well that went. Scouts are just loitering down there, not really doing much. Probably just doing a bit of map exploration. And here comes the pike upgrade. So definitely needed that pike upgrade. It's almost finished the wall down there. Red could certainly do being a little bit more aggressive, I think. Certainly got the mobility against the pikemen. So if you'd be able to have come down this way, you would have been able to get in on the base and just sort of do hit and run, and avoid the pikes. Still a massive villager lead now, 15 villager lead for Hjörleif now. Red is on 2 TCs, but not doing anything with them despite having plenty of food in the bank. No more knights coming out, but it's got quite a decent collection of them there, 10 of them in total. But again, the walls are pretty much finished, and the red player is going to be kept out. Now Hjörleif is able to start getting some stone walls down as well, just to secure that top end. I'm not sure whether he's going to try and stone wall along here, but no movement. There we go. I was just going to say no movement from the pikes yet. He's going to try and wall them in, but he's going to lose those 3 villagers. They're all going to be cut down. Oh. No. Split your army, mate. Send a few over to the wood. Oh, too late. Too late. Hjörleif got off lightly there. Female villager going in for the kill as well. Just going to give him a good slap. Got some cav archers now though. They should be able to support, but is it going to be able to kill any villagers here from this wood line? Should be able to get a couple, I think. Certainly, there's certainly the 1, 2. Is there going to be a third going down? No, just the 2. So not a bad little raid, but yeah, certainly could have split his army up a little bit. Certainly got enough of them. He could have sent some into one wood line, sent a couple over to the gold. And I think that's key for an effective raid when you've got knights. Don't necessarily need to just go and attack with a full lot into a wood line. You can normally get away with you know, splitting them. Let's see how many more villages will be picked off. But he is doing these sort of hit and run tactics now that I was talking about earlier. Hjörleif just running out of wood, so he's not really got any production for any more cav archers, but he does have the second TC down there though. But 23 minutes idle time for the red player, that's pretty shocking with you know, 3 TCs. I mean, there's a little bit, there's a villager coming out of one of, oh no, there's 2 of them now. But still the third one not working. How funny would it have been if it had been able to wall him in there? That would have been hilarious. Really needs to start getting that wood income in, but is the red player going to notice what's happening down this side? He's not, but he is going to die. Oh, that one just managing to escape. Can Hjörleif garrison and kill it? No, just ignoring it, just passing. That's fine. There's nowhere for him to go, I suppose. Pikeman will catch up and pick him off quite easily. There we go. So, still a big villager lead for Hjörleif. Lots of idle time for the red player. It's probably looking as though all 3 are idle at this point, going by how quickly the timer's going up. So, doing pretty well to say he's not got a UI. Pretty well indeed. Let's have some skirmishes now. Not entirely sure why, but he's got them anyway. But yeah, some cav archers coming out now for Hjörleif as well, so he is going to start massing up that that army. Red just starting to wall up a little bit now. Again, it should have just gone across there with those buildings, across there and along here. Not sure if he may have noticed the archery ranges coming up earlier. 3 archery ranges, interesting. Certainly doesn't have the economy to warrant 3 archery ranges, so you're going to need a lot more on gold and probably a lot more on wood, depending on what he's making. Go for skirmishers. Okay, we won't need the gold then. Obviously he anticipates the, well, he knows that the cav archers are there and on the way in. Quite a nice little mass of them now. And the red player, just wondering if he's starting to feel a little lacking in confidence at this point. But I think certainly with walls, you're going to want a wall a little bit bigger than that, just because you closed yourself in way too much there. There's not going to be any room for expansion or building an economy behind it, or you know, something like that. So kind of put himself in a difficult spot there. But just being able to scout, I think there's a hole there. Is there a hole? Oh no, there's some wood at the back there. No, it's fine. The cav archers coming in, there's quite a nice mass of them now, but he is going to run straight into those skirmishes and knights, which is not going to be pretty for him. That is for sure. I don't know if he's got ballistics yet. No, he's not. He doesn't have bloodlines either, so he's certainly going to want to try and get those in pretty sharpish. Because you see, he's just lost a couple of cav archers there, possibly needlessly. But he's going around just making some outposts, just trying to get some map information, since he doesn't have a mini map. He needs to be able to see what's happening by scrolling around the map, which must be quite hard, really, because you know, quite often I would just use the mini map, sort of click on the mini map to get to where I need to be, and you know, having to scroll all the way around the map could be quite challenging. It wouldn't be so bad if you're playing in 4K and you zoom right out, I suppose. Probably one way you could get around it, but quite a nice sizable army from Hjörleif. And again, nearly over a 20 villager lead as well now. That idle time from villager idle time, or TC idle time I should say, from the red player is pretty huge. I think that's just reflective of the elo. I expect this is probably 800 elo. because it's Hjörleif's Smurf account with no UI. So certainly wouldn't have won many games to be at 1,000 elo. That's sure, certainly for sure. I think ordinarily Hjörleif is around 1,100 to 1,200. He does have a YouTube channel as well, so I will put the link in the description for that when I get around to uploading this onto YouTube. Do check him out. He's got some really good little guides on there. Tends to do like little hints and tips guides, but he does it in like a minute or something like that. So really good stuff actually. They're quite entertaining. Castle coming in now for the red player. And I did mention earlier on in the game whether the red player would have the game knowledge to go and collect the relics as Lithuanians. He may have the knowledge, but he's probably just forgotten about it. And the castle coming in for Hjörleif as well on the hill there, just to try and, I suppose that's a good place for it as well, because you know any knights that are coming out here towards Hjörleif's base are going to be caught by the castle. And just make it a little bit more challenging. Town Watch coming in again, just wants all that extra vision without having a UI. But yeah, just bringing the full army forward now and really putting the pressure onto red. I was going to say the map expansion is fantastic for Hjörleif, but it's all outposts. So should be able to get in there and pick those villagers off. No, yes. Excellent. So that villager lead is ever expanding. 94 versus 57 now. I think the only issue that he's got here is the skirmishers. So obviously the skirmishers will counter the pikemen and the cav archers. So probably might need a few more knights, but he has got enough knights to counter them quite easily. But just got to get into the base first. Would be nice if he brought his cav archers around here and just started attacking that wood line. That would have been really good. Certainly not going to be able to get into the base that way with the castle being there. So we've got to go for a full frontal assault really. Not quite got enough resources to get to the Imperial Age, but I don't know if he's got a market yet. Certainly if he's sold a bit of resources he'd be able to get up, but again, he doesn't know what resources he has. So I might have to do this myself actually. Get a Smurf account and do a few no UI games just for a laugh. See how difficult it is. But certainly doing well, considering he's not got one. Twice the villager numbers, which yeah would certainly indicate to me that red's probably 700 to 800 elo. Yeah, lots and lots of resources, but yeah, certainly without he's playing without a UI, so that means no minimap. Doesn't know what his population is, doesn't know how many resources he's got. So that's why he's called himself Blind Hjörleif. But he's certainly got enough of a villager lead to be feeling confident that he's got quite a lot of resources. I mean, look at that economy. Pretty good. Plenty on the wood there. Just needs more on gold. I'm surprised he's not taken some villagers off of wood yet and started to make some gold. But he has got a town centre up there. He has relocated, and Owen is down there as well. So yeah, that shows me, doesn't it? It's almost like I'm playing without a UI. Or casting without a UI. Or a minimap. Town centre going there. That's a bit of a strange placement for a town centre. I understand why he's trying to, I suppose, use it as I don't know really. I was going to say perhaps he's trying to use it as just an extra barrier to prevent Hjörleif going into the base, or using it as an extra place to garrison villagers and shoot from. But I mean, it would be quite difficult if he does rush his army into here, because there's just going to be arrows coming from everywhere. I mean, there's now 4 town centres. It's like a little kill zone there. But yeah, it certainly would be difficult. But Hjörleif is on the way up to the Imperial Age. Not sure if did he get the market, or I think he might have just collected it, to be honest. No, he's got plenty of resources and villages on the gold. So I don't think it'll be long till we see some traps coming out and start pushing his way into the base there. But still more and more idle TC time for the red player. He's got up to 71 villages now, but Hjörleif 123. Massive village lead. Nearly an hour of idle TC time for the red player. Certainly going to just creep up and creep up and creep up. So we've had quite a few Discord submissions, so games submitted to the Discord server to feature on the YouTube channel, and that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today for probably the next hour. I might hopefully get another one, possibly 2 games in before I have to go, and then they will be going up onto YouTube over the next couple of weeks, just sort of dotted in between the build order videos that come out and things like that. So in terms of videos planned for the channel, we have got a Franks video coming out. Not a build order, it's a video on the best civs to counter Franks. So if you have seen the post on my community tab on YouTube, you'll have seen that I've been asking people for their opinions and what they feel the best civs are for countering Franks. Well, there's now going to be a video for it, which is going to be quite interesting, and hopefully it'll just help people with dealing with the constant Frank opponents that you get. I was able to get in and stop that wall going up, but it's probably going to lose those knights. I would have thought there's just too many crossbowmen there to deal with. Perhaps if it had brought those in and taken them from I nearly worded that very badly. Taking him in a pincer movement, we'll say. Nearly said taking him from behind. That's a totally different strategy.
Villages.
Thank you very much for the follow. Didn't see who it was, so I do apologise. Hopefully it'll pop up on my screen in a minute. GG. GG is called by the red player and had to be done really. I mean, it was almost in Imperial Age, but there's nothing you could do about it with that army and just the massive eco lead. He's down to 71 villages versus 125.